Hello, you, and thank you so much for clicking play. I really debated myself on whether I want to put this out there or not, and I decided, you know what, I will just put it out there, and whoever watches it can take what they need and leave what they don't need right here. I promise you that I am creating a channel where we are thinkers, we think philosophically, we share thoughts, we provoke one another's thoughts. So I'm not going to hide anything just because I feel like it will get me branded something that maybe I don't wish to be branded. I'm not going to do that. I will keep it a back with you. I will keep it 100 with you and just put this out there for whoever who was meant to find it to just find it. Now, there are people who are going to watch this and be like, we knew she was crazy. I knew it. This chick is crazy. I just didn't know how crazy. And now I have the evidence. Okay, okay, fine. So I am just about to tell you the story. I am literally seated on my bedroom floor about to tell you the story of how on the 9th of May 2025, this is 2 days ago, I was abducted by aliens. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to interrupt the video with uncontrollable laughter, but the thing is, it sounds crazy even to me. Obviously, right now you're looking at a fake newspaper clipping. I just used it to illustrate the point, but I will try to be as honest and as real in the following clip. I will try and just give you my account. Like I said, this is a community of thinkers and you can draw your own conclusion. I'll be serious. I'll try and tell you exactly what happened and then you can draw your own conclusion. Enjoy. My husband is 100% convinced that I only dreamt. He told me this is what they call lucid dreaming, where he showed me some scientific research papers on the internet where somebody dreams something that is very real and you wake up feeling like you're from a trip, like you really were there. This really happened, but it's like a dream. So I don't know what you will think or what you will say. I will just leave it for you to decide. I can only tell you what happened. So on the 9th of May, we went out and I wasn't in the mood for drinking. So it's not like I had a lot of alcohol. So maybe you might watch this and be like, oh, that's the effects of the alcohol. I do not do any drugs at all. I only take alcohol from time to time. But on the 9th of May, I just didn't feel, like drinking anything. My husband had a couple of beers. And then I had literally 2 glasses of wine. Literally 2 glasses of wine. Nothing special about that day. We were just outside having a good time. And I just literally had 2 glasses of wine. And I ate enough. So there's no argument of like, or maybe you had 2 glasses of wine on an empty stomach and this made you very drunk. No, we actually had burgers. And before that, I had lunch. I had pasta bolognese. So I was fed. Like there was no problem there. Then I went to bed and at 4 in the morning. So now I'm talking about going to bed on the 9th of May and then 4 in the morning on the 10th of May, which is yesterday. At 4 in the morning, I woke up completely sick. And later on, I had to work a few hours. And so I was like, I don't even think I will make it today. I was completely sick. I was just about to call in sick. I woke up my husband. He was like, what is up with you? He could hear me walking around and I was like, I feel so sick. And he was like, what exactly? I'm like, a headache. At that time, that hour, we could not find any pharmacy opened, obviously, and we could not find any nearby emergency services. So he was like, if I make you tea, will you be able to sleep a little bit until the pharmacy is open? So he made me tea. And I had that cup of tea, but I was still having, one of those headaches where it's like, boom, 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 boom. You cannot even move your eyes. You literally can. You're like a zombie in your house because it is so painful. It's like a headache with a life of its own. It's just boom, boom, boom. That's how I felt. I felt like I am literally dying. I was like, I can't even look at my phone because of the light of the phone. I had to tell him, can you please try and call someone? Like, I was very sick. So I went back to bed after having the tea. So that must have been around 4:30, and I slept until around 6 when the headache woke me up again. So we're talking about from 4 to 6. This is when I believe I was abducted by aliens. Excuse me, I need to clean my nose. Just a sec. Ooh. Just a second. So, I will just tell you what happened and then you can make your own conclusions. I believe that between 4 in the morning and 6 in the morning, I know I'm laughing. I'm just laughing because I know how critics will react. Like, this woman, something is wrong with her. That's what I find to be funny, but I don't find the abduction to be funny. Now, the view from my bedroom is mountains, okay? I was lying in bed staring at the mountains. This is the Alpine region of Austria. I can show you a little bit of what I mean. So I'm lying in bed, staring at the mountains with this crippling headache, like boom, 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 boom. And I sent my husband away. I was like, I want to be alone, because I felt like, oh my God, you know, you're tossing and turning and you're like, I'm gonna die. I'm literally, this is the day that I die. And so he was in the other bedroom down the hall, and I'm just staring at the mountains, boom, boom. And then I felt myself like freeze. That's the only way I can describe it. I was frozen in time. I could not move. I felt paralyzed. I was half awake, half asleep. I guess that's what they call sleep paralysis. And then on the mountains, I saw a spaceship. People who are more scientifically inclined will say, okay, you hallucinated because of the sleep paralysis. I don't know. I saw a spaceship come down the mountains very slowly and just land right in front of the mountain that I was looking at. And then I could see like little beings coming out of the spaceship, and they were gray. Somebody watching this might say, you've watched way too many movies. Okay, but I can only tell you my experience. And I felt frozen, and I was like, hey, in my mind, I'm thinking, hang on, what am I looking at? Is this ish real? Like, I want to wake up my husband to come and see what I'm seeing. And then I fell into a deep sleep, like a very deep sleep, like you fainted, like you're in a coma, like you're gone, like you're gone. I fell into a very deep sleep, and then one of those beings, which looked like the leaders of the others, I don't know where the others disappeared to, but one of those beings who was a bit taller than the others summoned me. They just summoned me, and I could feel myself getting lifted out of this bed and just heading towards the direction of the mountain, and I was physically there. I was present there. Now I was confused, like, am I still on the bed sleeping? Is this my spirit, or is it really me? Did I really leave the house at night? Like, I was like, what is even going on? And then the being, they told me, I'm going to calm you down now. They told me, but not in words. That's the other thing. They communicated with me somehow and told me, I'm going to calm you down now. Because I was confused, I was terrified, I was afraid. Am I outside at night? I have a headache. What is going on? Am I on the bed? Is this me? Is this my spirit? What is am I here physically? Is this happening? Like, I was scared, right? And they said, I'm going to calm you down now. And then I felt a sense of calm and peace, and I didn't need to worry whether I was at the mountains right opposite my bedroom or if I was still on my bed. It did not matter. I did not need to worry. I just needed to calm down. And then this being communicated, I guess that's what they call telepathy. I don't know how they were communicating with me, but there was no language. There was no words. It's not like how you're watching me right now and you understand me because you speak the English language. And if I was to speak another language, you wouldn't be able to understand me perhaps. It wasn't like this. There was no worry of this. Like when I watch a video, I'm hoping they speak English, Swahili, or German, because that's the only way I can follow, or Agikoyo, my mother tongue, Kikuyu, because I speak those 4 languages. That's the only way I can follow. If they speak French, then I cannot follow. But there was no, this fear of not being able to follow this being was not there. I just understood them even though there were no words. And then this being told me that they're going to give me numbers that I understand. They were like, I will give you 1 to 10 because these are the numbers on your planet. These are the numbers that you can understand. From where you're from, I will work with what you can understand. And then they told me, like, for instance, 2 will mean I am a man and I would like answers from you, like the number 2. This is only an example. I don't remember right now what exactly what number meant what, but basically that was the idea. They told me like 2 will mean I am a man who would like some information from you. 3 will mean you're a girl and you're not in danger. 4 will mean I would like numbers will have meanings, and it will help me decipher what they are trying to tell me, because they are trying to vibrate as low as I am, because apparently our planet is on a much lesser plane. That is how the being explained it to me, that if they remain where they are, I will not understand them and fear will cripple me. So they will try to calm me, and they will try to come as low as possible and use things that I'm familiar with, numbers and pictures that my mind is familiar with, and that way we will communicate faster and easier. And they asked me, do you understand? And I was like, yeah, I understand. But I didn't answer with words. And then they said, so from what I can see, you have a decent IQ. So you will remember the meanings of the numbers. So from 1 to 10, this being, which was gray and looked like the cliche alien being, but it had a luminous green light. That's the other thing I forgot to tell you. When they were coming out of the thing that looks like a spaceship, they had a luminous green light. And this being especially had a very bright luminous green light. Now I really sound cuckoo. Remember what each number, from what they can see, I can remember what each number means, what sentence each number represents. And then when I would panic, like, is this really happening? They would calm me down. And then they told me, I will use notes, music notes that are familiar to your mind on your planet that you have had since childhood, and this will help you communicate with me better. So they were using numbers, pictures, and music to make me communicate with them and understand them. And then they said, I know you have a lot of questions, but this is not why I took you. So they explained to me that I have a headache. I have a very bad headache at the moment. I only had 2 glasses of wine, but I'm in such severe pain. My husband had been trying to call somebody. I tried to take tea. And so this being told me, do not be afraid. I am here to study pain in the mind of a human being. Do you understand me? And I said, yes. Okay. We were like in a laboratory. Let me just tell you, let me set up the stage for you so you see what I was seeing. We entered this spaceship, and inside of it, there were rooms. And one room was like a laboratory. And this being invited me to sit down. And they were very calmly and gentle, like talking to a child. And they were using numbers, and they were giving me encrypted messages, which they said I could decipher because I remember what the numbers mean. And they were using pictures and music, which they said the notes of this music is what is available in my world, on this planet, so I will understand it, because subconsciously music has been stored in our brains since we were young. Since we were literally in our mother's stomachs, we could hear music, apparently. I never even knew that. This being said this. So they said this will keep this conversation easier and faster. Have a seat. So I sat down. It was a white lab, and they then had like a bunch of equipment that I've never seen, but I could see that they were like scientific equipments. And then there was a screen in front of us where I could see all these things, like, you know, those diagrams you see of like genes, your like scientific diagrams that I did not understand. And then they said that they're going to project my mind and they will show me where the pain is, right? The area where the pain was like a beating heart. The area of my mind where the pain was, and it was red, like very red. The rest of my mind was okay. So they said they don't see anything special like a disease, which they first have to study before they study how that disease interacts with the pain. They just see a very bad headache, which actually has been put there for the purpose of this study. They need to look at how we react to pain when we don't have any other significant mind disease or whatever, and they need to correlate it with our bodies, like how the mind's pain is interpreted not only by the brain but the body. And so they were writing things and they were studying my mind and they were doing things, but I was not in pain. And they told me if I feel any more pain apart from the headache, I should let them know. And so they started, like, there were electrons. I could see like electrons on the screen. They started doing something, and then they told me, I cannot take away the whole headache. Okay? Do you understand me? I said, yes. They said, I can only take away the exaggerated part because we exaggerated the pain. They said the headache is as a result of your actions. So they explained to me what the alcohol does to the brain and whatever. And so the headache is part of a hangover, but it shouldn't be as much as it was. They had exaggerated the headache. So they said, I can take away the exaggeration, but you will remain with your normal headache because I cannot interfere with that. I cannot interrupt with your normal consequences as a human being because you have free will. You chose to go out and drink and this gave you a headache. That I cannot take away for you. So that you will have to take care of when you are fully aware. When I wake up again, I have to get a painkiller or whatever it is that we humans do to take away a headache. I have to do it on my own. But the part where they exaggerated, because they said you're not having a normal headache, we exaggerated this headache. Basically, this being explained to me that they had intentionally exaggerated the headache in order to study the pain. That part, I will take it away from you, okay? You will be fine, okay? I will take this away from you because I have taken what I needed, the study. I needed to study you, but I will give you back. You will go back to your normal self with a normal headache. I will not harm you. I will not give you any more than you can handle or take away anything because I cannot interfere with you. Do you understand? And I said, okay. Then, as we were talking, a little puppy started jumping up and down. A little puppy came from one of the cubicles and I was like, oh my God, a puppy, because I love dogs. And so I looked at the puppy, and at this time, we don't have any language. We are not speaking like how I'm speaking with you. So I looked at the puppy, and I wanted to hug the puppy. I wanted the puppy, because he was a normal dog, to jump on me. And then I said, why do you have a puppy? Are you studying him as well? And then he looked at me with like a side smile, this being, and said, do you think humans are the only ones who find puppies to be cute? We like puppies. And then we had like a moment there where it was like a funny, like, you know, hilarious, like, and then I woke up. I went back to my bed and I woke up. I immediately felt that the headache had reduced. First of all, it was now a normal headache. It wasn't giving what it was giving. And I could remember everything that I just saw and I just felt and I just heard. And I immediately ran to wake up my husband and be like, let me tell you something. You can imagine my husband's face when I stormed into the guest bedroom at 6 in the morning to tell him all about how I am just from getting abducted by aliens. White boy was staring at me like, what? And then he went outside and got me, when the pharmacy opened, he got me some medication, which I took, and the whole headache went away. But like, I told him this story and he was like, you are obviously dreaming. This is lucid dreaming. Your mind was looking for a way in which the headache doesn't hurt too much. And then he said something interesting. He said about the puppy, because earlier on when we were at the restaurant, there was a puppy that I played with. So he said, this is saved in your mind. There was a lady who came into the restaurant with a puppy, and the puppy jumped on me and I was playing with the puppy. So he said, obviously your mind recorded this because it was a moment which you treasured, and now it's being projected to you as a dream. I can swear I was taken by an alien and the puppy was in the lab of the spaceship, and the alien told me that they like puppies too. And I can swear that they studied my mind and wanted to understand pain in humans because they were working on some kind of project. And I can swear that this alien was very neutral and did not want to harm me, and they made me comfortable and they wanted me to understand them. And because they don't have language, they told me that they will reduce their vibration, they will come down to my level because we are on a lower plane. I can swear that I learned things in that lab. For instance, I did not know that we can hear music when we are in our mother's tummy. Can somebody fact check that? Because I haven't even Googled it yet. But I can swear that this being told me that. I can swear that this being was like writing things and studying, and they told me that they had exaggerated my headache for the purposes of this study, and that they will take away the exaggerated part and leave me with the normal headache. I can swear that this being told me that they cannot interfere. If he wanted to, he could take away the whole headache, but he's not allowed to. That's what they said. If a human being does something, they have to face the consequences. We have to deal with it ourselves. They cannot interfere. This being told me that. Call me crazy, but that's what happened. My husband is 100% convinced I only dreamt it. I hallucinated because of the pain, and then I dreamt it, and yada, yada, yada. Take what you need from this video, leave what you do not need right here. I am just glad that I have told somebody, because this stuff makes you think like, okay, what was that? What was that? Anyways, thank you very much for watching. If there's anything that you liked on this video, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Help me grow. Let us create a community of thinkers together. Let's provoke one another's thoughts. Food for thought for you. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Elizabeth Irungu. Bye.